So next question is cretinism. So what is cretinism? See, hypothyroidism in small children is called as cretinism beta, where you will see the growth will be stunted. So causes of cretinism is like in the newborn baby, thyroid hormones are not sufficient. Hence the baby will have like sluggish movements, croaking sounds while crying. Okay, so that's how we diagnose like it may be a case of cretinism. Skeletal growth is also affected. So stunted growth, body is bloated. There is one very good picture you can look into. The baby will be looking like this. This is cretin child. Okay, growth retardation. This is 3 months old baby. Okay, so if you just check with comparative study between cretin and dwarf is, cretin will be mentally retarded, whereas dwarf will not be mentally retarded, because thyroid hormones are very important for the normal growth and development of CNS, whereas growth hormone is actually not so much important for the development of CNS. That's how dwarf is mentally well developed, normal, whereas cretin is mentally retarded. Okay, beta. So that's what is cretinism. So after that, mm, the other question, parathyroid cretinism is for 2 marks. Parathyroid is for 5 marks. Then this is glucocorticoids we have to discuss. What are glucocorticoids? The hormones coming from adrenal cortex. So in the adrenal cortex, what are the three zones we have? GFR, zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. GFR. Okay. From zona fasciculata, we have mineralocorticoids, isn't it? See, these are the three zones: adrenal cortex. Okay. Zona glomerulosa, fasciculata, and reticularis. So from glomerulosa, we have mineralocorticoids like aldosterone. From fasciculata, we have glucocorticoids like cortisol. From reticularis, we have sex hormones. Okay. Now we are asked to write the details of glucocorticoids. That is second. That means hormones coming from zona fasciculata. The most common glucocorticoids which function in our blood are cortisol. Okay, cortisol is the most important glucocorticoid. Okay, so now what is the question we are asked? Let us see. First, he is asking all hormones we have already listed. Then he is asking action and mechanism of action in detail. Okay, and applied aspects. So that means what are the functions of glucocorticoids? See, basically glucocorticoid is called as life protecting hormone, because see here, cortisol is actually increasing blood glucose levels. That means whenever we are under stress, whenever we are in trauma, whatever activity we have throughout round the clock, we require glucose as a source of energy for each and every cell. So glucocorticoids will be actually functioning very actively to generate glucose into the blood circulation and transport glucose towards the cells. Okay, that's how glucocorticoids are nothing but the hormones which are actually is like a trigger for the continuous supply of glucose to the cells. Very, very important hormone. That's why it is called as life protecting hormone. How does it do? See, the mechanisms through which it is like increasing blood glucose levels are by promoting gluconeogenesis. That means synthesis of glucose not only from carbohydrate but also from non-carbohydrate sources like lipids and amino acids. That means from fatty acids and proteins also we have the synthesis of glucose. Okay, the other mechanisms on protein metabolism, it causes breakdown of proteins. Why proteins are being broken down? So that they are converted to amino acids, and free amino acids can be now pooled for gluconeogenesis, so that more and more glucose is available for the tissues to work. Okay, so because more proteins are being broken down because of glucocorticoids, they actually cause negative nitrogen balance. That means more and more output of nitrogen in the form of urine and fecal matter we will see. Okay, that means more than intake, the output of nitrogen is more. That's what is negative nitrogen balance. And fat metabolism, what does it do? It causes mobilization of fats and redistribution of fats. Okay, so again, mobilization of fats, finally, they will be transported for the purpose of gluconeogenesis. So if it is like if fatty acids are more in the blood, we know they are channeled for ketogenesis and ketolysis. That will lead to ketogenic effect. Okay, diabetic ketoacidosis type of effect. Okay, and water metabolism, glucocorticoids, they help in the maintenance of water balance. Okay, actually they help in the excretion of water. That's the reason, suppose if glucocorticoids are not there, then there may be water logging in our blood body, you call it as water intoxication. Okay, they also enhance retention of sodium and to lesser extent increase in excretion of potassium. That means from the renal tubules, it promotes the reabsorption of sodium and excretion of potassium. Okay, it like on bone, it is same like parathyroid hormone. It is bringing about bone resorption. That means it helps in increasing of blood calcium levels. On muscles, it causes, see, protein breakdown only. Muscle is a protein. That's why even muscles are also broken down. On blood cells, it decreases number of circulating eosinophils. That means it is actually reducing our immunity. Okay, basophils, lymphocytes, they are all reduced. Okay, then vascular response, essential for constrictor action of adrenaline and noradrenaline. Okay, that means it is causing vasoconstriction. And CNS, very important for the normal functioning of CNS. Okay, to keep us active, alert. Then it is also helping the other hormones to work easily, like glucagon, catecholamines. Like glucagon, calorigenic effect is enhanced. Lipolytic effect of catecholamines, vascular effects, and bronchodilator effects of catecholamines are more facilitated in the presence of glucocorticoids. They are also very important to withstand stress. Okay, we are able to work under stress because of the continuous availability of glucose which is being provided by all the above mechanisms by glucocorticoids. Anti-inflammatory effects, it causes during inflammation there will be pain, redness, swelling, and that particular area will not function. Okay, so that those symptoms are reduced by the release of certain inflammatory mediators like histamine, serotonin, bradykinin, tumor necrosis factors. All these are released and they will reduce pain, mm, redness, swelling, and the loss of function. These are all removed by the action of inflammatory mediators. Okay, that is anti-inflammatory action of glucocorticoids. It also helps in anti-allergic action. It also brings about immunosuppression. That means that's the reason you can give this hormone in order to help in transplantation, so that there is no organ rejection. Okay, organ rejection can be prevented by giving glucocorticoids. Okay, that is the last question we have here is endometrial cycle. That is for 5 marks. That is nothing but menstrual cycle. So, what is menstrual cycle? What are the hormones responsible for menstrual cycle? Estrogen and progesterone. Okay. So, menstrual cycle is actually, see, ovarian cycle will be there. See, ovarian cycle in the sense, when you see the cross section of ovary, we have developing follicles like primordial follicle, primary follicle, secondary Graafian follicle. Then we have corpus luteum. Graafian follicle will be releasing the ovum on 14th day. Graafian follicle, we have theca interna cells which are responsible for the release of estrogen. After ovulation, you will see corpus luteum will be releasing the hormone progesterone. Suppose if on 14th day of ovulation, if sperms are not reaching the ovum and if fertilization has not occurred, corpus luteum will transform into corpus albicans. So after 28 days, you will see the endometrium will start shedding and comes out in the form of menstrual blood. Okay, these are ovarian changes. See, if you see the ovary structure, like this is Graafian follicle, these are the theca interna cells which are concerned with the release of estrogen. This is ovum, these are membrana granulosa cells. Okay, and this is menstrual cycle. This is the inside lining of the uterus, which is endometrium. Suppose if the menstrual cycle has taken place January 1st to January 5th, there was bleeding. After 5th, you will see the endometrium will start regenerating under the influence of hormone estrogen, which is coming from theca interna cells. The size of endometrial glands gradually will increase. Okay, the blood vessels also become tortuous. After 14th day, correspondingly in the ovary, ovulation has occurred. After 14th day, from corpus luteum, you will see progesterone also comes into picture, making these glands more thicker, so as to allow the fertilized ovum to get implant in case fertilization occurs. So that means uterus is preparing itself for implantation. That's the reason endometrial glands have become so much thick. But suppose on 28th day, if there is no signal of HCG, human chorionic gonadotrophin, which usually comes from fertilized ovum, there is no such signal, then this endometrial glands will break and they will shed and they will come out in the form of menstrual blood. Okay, beta. So that finishes everything and we will stop here, beta. See you tomorrow. Most probably same time. Okay, beta. Bye. Chavi, good night.
Good night, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.